Producer 1 says action. Producer 2 is fascinated by the red bar here. Now, this is the final road to Paris that we're getting in our Bayview studios. After this, we will be doing, not road to Paris. Oh, man. Freudian slip. Beach access. Last beach access we're doing in the Bayview studios. If you're just listening on audio, Producer 2 can't keep his hands off of the VBTV microphone. Shout out Volleyball World for giving us this. We will be in Tallahassee. I will start making the drive on Friday. Producer 2 has heard a crack truck, also known as a trash truck. And so Producer 1 and 2 are going out there. So that's Producer 2's last appearance on the Bayview Studios for the Beach Access or Road to Paris, which in a year and a half, 2 years, will be the Road to LA. Yes, we will be bringing that back. But wasn't sure if I'd have the time to do a Week 2 recap of the AVP League, but here we are. We're doing it. It's mayhem, because there was mayhem in Miami from the Miami Mayhem. I just had a little laugh about that. I mean, the names cracked me up a little bit. But in all reality, in all seriousness, we just recorded a podcast with Gina Urango, and we did a AVP League fan question episode specific on that. We were talking about the teams that we thought were going to make the playoffs. So as a reminder, we got 8 teams in the AVP League. Let me run through the names for you real quick. We got the New York Nitro. This is in the standings. Miami Mayhem, 3-1. San Diego Smash, Dallas Dream, Austin Aces. They are all 2-2. 6-7-8, Brooklyn Blaze, LA Launch, Palm Beach Passion. They are 1-3. The top 4 teams at the end of the regular season will go into the league championship. So we were talking about, on that episode, the 4 teams we thought would make the playoffs. Now, I did not include the Miami Mayhem, which shame on me for ever discluding Trevor Crabb and April Ross and Alex Klineman and Theo Brunner from something competitive, because they go 3-1. Now, I wasn't sure what April and Alex would show up. Both new moms, both just got married. Congratulations to them. Didn't know if they were going to be ready to full-on compete. And what do? Well, they make the most of their wild card on the very first weekend of the AVP League by upsetting Melissa Humana Paredes and Brandy Wilkerson, the reigning silver medalists of the Paris Olympic Games. Trevor and Theo, they mop up the Palm Beach Passion, Phil Dahlhauser and Avery Drost, and then they mop up the Austin Aces, Team Coach Dad, Billy Allen, and Paul Lottman. So the Miami Mayhem are 3-1 and off to an excellent start. And I also wasn't sure what Theo was going to show up, because I can promise you the Theo that showed up at the Hermosa Open, that was not the man who showed up in Miami. And one of the intriguing aspects of the league that I was very curious about was the quote-unquote home field advantage. So Trevor and Theo and April and Alex, they are the Miami Mayhem home team that played in Miami. I asked Trevor, were the fans any more receptive? Were they any louder for you than they were for the other teams, because you were technically the home team despite all of you living within walking distance of each other here in Hermosa Beach? And Trevor is a no bullshit guy. You all know it. If it sucked, he would have said it. And he said, actually, yes, the fans were noticeably louder for us than they were for our opposition. Now, it could be correlation, could be causation. They could have just been louder because they're rooting for them more than Billy and Paul, and rooting for them more than they would have Phil and Avery. And I think more causation there. Now, granted, again, the fan turnout was a little bit light. It was better than it was at the UCLA Tennis Center, where I'd set the over-under at maybe 100 fans, where Miami, I think the over-under, I'd probably set it about 350 for the weekend, which is still, if you just do the math, at $40 a ticket, it's not great, but it's at least trending in the right direction. And everyone I've talked to, from the players to people who have attended as fans, they say that the events themselves are very fun to go to. The energy is fun. The vibe is fun. It's a little bit different. And everyone says the same thing. We just need more people in attendance. And so that is the biggest problem for the AVP to solve. And again, we've talked about it ad nauseum already. We're just in week 2. That the AVP understands to compete against the NFL for eyeballs, to compete against college football for eyeballs, and soon the MLB playoffs. The NBA is going to be starting up relatively soon. They understand the difficulty of that. I don't think that's the plan moving forward. I think they want to shift it to summer. This is the experimental phase of it. This is where they're going to make a lot of fixes and changes and whatever else have you. And so I don't think that they anticipated having huge eyeballs, huge in-attendance numbers, huge streaming numbers for this year. Granted, again, I'm hyping up Texas. I think you guys are going to deliver. I think Texas will deliver. But weren't a lot of fans. That's the biggest piece of feedback, is that more fans need to be in attendance. Now, back to the actual play itself. Obviously, a lot of there was much to do made about April Ross and Alix Klineman getting the wild card. I think it was a no-brainer. We just had that fan question episode, Savvy Simo. She goes in depth about April and Alix getting the wild card and her losing the playoff, and even she said it was a no-brainer for the AVP to give a wild card to the A team. Best fan draw. They were the 2021 gold medalists. April, top 3 player of all time. Alix Klineman, obviously a fan draw. And so that was no question, but April and Alix made good on it. They had a huge win. Now, granted, they got mopped up by Kristen Nuss and Taryn Cloth, but to go 1-1 is huge, because what I'm seeing as the AVP League is that it's really going to come down to the twos team in each of these matchups. And so with teams like the Mayhem, for example, you got Trevor and Theo, who I think are going to be the more consistent team on a winning basis than April and Alix, for all the aforementioned reasons. New moms, new career for April, weddings. I don't think they're going to be as consistent. And so what you need from your twos team, you just need one big upset win. Haley Harward, Kylie DeBerg almost delivered that against Kristen and Taryn, which would have put the Dallas Dream, Andy Benish, Miles Pertain, into that 3-1 position. And so Andy and Miles just need to continue taking care of business, while they need one good win, a couple good wins from Haley and Kylie, and that's going to set them apart. And so for a team like the New York Nitro, you got 2 ones. You got Taylor Crabb, Taylor Sander. That's a ones pair. Kelly Chang and Sarah Hughes. That's a ones pair. That's why that there is no doubt that they are going to make the playoffs. In my mind, I'm giving them about a 99% chance. But then you have a couple teams that are in that 2-2 area, that 1-3 area, where we don't really know who the ones and twos are. So for the Palm Beach Passion, it's dinger when Mel and Brandy don't get the win, because Phil and Avery, who are kind of the twos pair of that team, they went 0-2. And so when Mel and Brandy don't deliver, when they get upset, that puts them in that 1-3 hole. The LA Launch, Betsy Flint and Julia Scholes, they're the ones team of that pairing with Troy Field and Tim Baumgren. Just recorded a really wonderful podcast with Troy. That'll come out in about a month or so. We're kind of stacking episodes right now. But Troy and Tim went 0-2. Betsy and Julia went 1-1. Now, granted, that one loss was to the Nitro. So going 1-3 right now with the Nitro on your schedule, that's not terrible. The Brooklyn Blaze, that's Therese Cannon and Megan Kraft. And they are with, who are the Brooklyn Blaze? Cody Caldwell and Sean Cook. I would put Therese and Meg as that one. But again, that's sort of like a 1A and 1B, or kind of a two 1.5 teams, neither a 2 or 1. And so I think that the Blaze are going to be about a 500 team, because they're going to have trouble with any teams. One, they're going to have trouble with a team like the Nitro. Sean and Cody are going to have trouble with a team like a Trevor Theo, but Sean and Cody picked up a huge win over Chase Budinger and Miles Evans. So teams like that, I think that the league standings are really going to come down to the twos team, who can deliver a big upset and get sort of a bonus point, while your ones sort of keep on and carry on and take care of business. And that's kind of all I really had from week 2. We're starting to get a little bit better of a feel, and I'm actually becoming more invested in the team aspect of it. I'm looking at it like, wow, this is a race for top 4. This is pretty close. And so that's kind of what I got. Mayhem in Miami, Trev and Theo delivering. April Ross, Alix Klineman delivering on their wild card with a big upset. So next week, I will be driving. I will begin my drive on Friday to Tallahassee. So it'll be in San Diego. It's kind of hilarious. So week 1 was in LA. I was in Florida. Week 2 was in Florida. I was in LA. Week 3 in San Diego. I'll be in Florida. So it'll be the New York Nitro, San Diego Smash, Dallas Dream, and the Miami Mayhem. That is who is on tap for week 3 in San Diego. Streaming is on Bally's. All the replays, thank heavens, are on YouTube. So next time I see you guys, I'll be in Tallahassee. I don't know if I'll have a week 3 recap. It is very unlikely I will, because I don't even know if I'll have my Wi-Fi set up. And so I will probably see you guys week 4 after the Austin stop, which I've been hyping up. LJ Luciano, get the boys ready and deliver, because I want to be saying Texas forever after every podcast. So again, any questions you guys have, drop them in the comments section. Let us know. We want to help clear up any confusion we can. And so until next time, go Noles, go Ravens. Thank heavens you pulled that one off. And as always, shoots.